Hi, I'm Rob from Hopsing. Thanks for a much delayed return of Good Beer Live, our once monthly broadcast that we haven't done since Christmas. Anyway, as you can see, as always, joined by my cohorts. Jake, how you doing, mate?
All good, all good. Looking forward. I've abstained from beers until just before this. Normally I'd be a couple of beers deep, but I'm fresh. I'm fresh coming into it.
This time last week, I'd been drinking for 7 hours, and we still and we all. I don't know if I can't remember if both of you were on last week. I think my stream won it. I think last week, and until 2 a.m. Oh no, it wasn't mine. It was somebody else's because somebody fucking stayed on until like R5, didn't they? It was Harry's stream.
Harry's, I think, yeah.
All right, Tom, how you doing? Just replying to Thomas over at Window Beer Reviews. How you doing? Yeah, Craig, how's it going?
Yeah, Happy New Year.
That's great.
It's been a while, hasn't it? So
not since we started, which is nice.
Yeah. Is that the latest Happy New Year of the year?
Well, it was Happy New Year until what? 23rd of March. So yeah, but yeah, there you go. That's another story, I guess.
Absolutely. So the focus, what we're looking at tonight, is local beer. Ooh, because obviously in these times, everybody's got to. Well, in theory, you'd be encouraged to kind of support kind of local breweries, local off-license, local companies, whatever it is. So we've all kind of selected beers local to us in some shape or form. We'll get onto that in a bit. So because but it's not really stopped me because there's like every brewery, what worth the salt, any decent kind of like shop has kind of like modified their business to become an online kind of like entity as well. So getting good beer seems to be easy, but at the same time, I'm sure this will come up more. But is there less choice at the moment, or is it because I seem to spend a big chunk of my time just kind of like checking on Cloudwater's website, on Polly's website, on Daya's website, North's website? Oh, what's in stock?
Yeah.
So maybe it's just kind of like a bit more all-consuming because I've got less to do.
Yeah.
So I focus on the kind of like pleasant things, I guess, what I can easily do, which is nice, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
But you can kind of like take yourself away from it all for a minute.
Yeah.
And
it's funny, really, with the whole breweries getting online shops. It's going to lend itself more now to a brewery pumping out loads of different styles and loads of new releases all the time, because then they can shift them on their online store.
Yeah.
See,
because you want to get new stuff, don't you? If you're just going to buy from one brewery, you want you don't want to keep buying the same shit every week or whatever.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of breweries that have actually started to, obviously they're canning and bottling more. So I think, for instance, someone like Daya. I mean, you can get Daya down here at the moment.
Yeah,
it's just
way more accessible. Yeah.
What's all that about? You know, obviously they're not doing kegs, I would assume.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Very little.
Yeah, so everything's going into cans and bottles. And yeah, certain breweries accessibility's improved, which is odd, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we'll get into these kind of things in the future where it's like, how kind of the future of kind of beer consumption. You know, that pubs and bars are going to reopen. That's guaranteed. We all know that. I mean, that's because it will. I mean, I think it'd be a ridiculous situation when something like that didn't happen. It would have to be a very fucking desperate state for that not to happen. So I'm sure that will happen. But I mean, you kind of think about what will those societal kind of shifts be, and how it will reflect on enjoying nice beer. Really, I thought about like, I mean, if you go to a theatre. It's like it's gonna be like one person every 3. And how do you work that? How do you kind of like triangulate like a cinema auditorium? So people within.
I was having this conversation yesterday about like restaurants and stuff. It's like, they're gonna have to halve their capacity to open, and it's like, apparently locally, a lot of restaurants aren't going to do that. They're just not going to open. They're just going to wait. They're just going to wait because they're going to lose money. So
there's a bunch of
a lot of these people are going to survive. It's going to be tricky.
Yeah, my mate lives near a really nice pizza restaurant, and they've started doing kind of collections. So they're still kind of churning out good stuff, but it means like your pizza that you're eating at home is a bit better than one from fucking dodgy local from Le Monde in Shipley, which is probably one of the better ones. Anyway, let's go on to the beer. As I said, focusing on kind of local breweries, and we've picked 2 beers from our respective breweries. We don't have the same beers as we normally would do, because it's a different world we live in at the moment. But we've all kind of like selected a brewery local to us. The brewery that I'm looking at this evening is not actually my nearest brewery, because I live really, 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 really close to Saltaire Brewery, which is about 50 yards away from where I'm sat now. It is very close, but they're not really. They're only selling cases, and I can buy stuff from supermarkets, but it's not the best stuff. And breweries like that excel in draft form and cask for me, especially now. So my other local brewery, and what appears with a bit more fanfare, is so that's my actual fanfare. It's getting confusing. I'm looking at the camera, not my hands. What's going on? Is Salt Beer Factory, which are about a 20-minute walk from me if I'm having a bit of a gentle saunter. Which I walk past it today on my daily pollutions. So 2 beers that I've got. I mean, I've got them both open because I've just done reviews of them, which is Gimme the Dough, which is a coffee and donut porter, 7.2% ABV, brewed in collaboration with legitimate industries from Leeds, and also Temple Donuts, which are an incredible donut place just on the outskirts of Leeds. And then the other one is called ISO Bar, which is an imperial salted caramel and vanilla imperial stout, 11.8. That's in collaboration with Atom. But I am actually supping on, which I'm sure this will become a subject at some point as well, on a can of Huckaback, which is from Salt as well, which is a New England IPA, which you've both drunk at the source last year now? Last year? Was it last year?
Yeah, October.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, of course it was during Indie Man. So I'm on a glass of that, and it is lovely. This was picked up from Morrison's.
Wow.
Salt have just gone into they're just about to do a couple of things with Tesco's, aren't they? They're doing a collab with Magic Rock, and their ICAT double IPA is going to go into Tesco's as well. That's in big cans at the moment. They're just doing 330s, but good beer that.
Yeah. I've got a can in the fridge downstairs, funnily enough.
Well, the new ones from Tesco's?
No, not the new one, but in the smaller can, but it will be in the bigger can. Because it's, But yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So, Jake, what you got?
Yeah, I've selected Burnt Mill. About 15 minutes drive from my house. So pretty local. And they've they had an online shop before, but I don't know how much they were selling for that, but it seems to, because of what's happened, gone into overdrive. So the beers I've selected are the Great Bitter Lake, the West Coast Double IPA, coming at 8%, and After Earth, which is a barrel-aged Imperial Stout, coming at 11.5. It was a nice little freebie in the order, so it tastes even better because it was free.
Yeah, nice one.
But yeah, obviously, I mean, Burnt Mill came out of the gates with a load of accolades and everything in like their first year of actually producing beer and all that stuff. So it's quite rare to have a brewery of that caliber in these parts, really.
So how far are they from you then?
About 15-minute drive, I'd say.
Oh,
so
nice.
not far from Ipswich, but they don't have a tap room or anything at this moment. They are on like a bus route, but it's sort of like on an industrial estate in sort of like the middle of nowhere. Everything's in the middle of nowhere.
Every fucking brewery in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
but I mean, they've got the setup there. I think that it's just a licensing and a time issue. They're a small company still, and they all. I mean, it's the owner of the company who's packing the boxes. So it's
Oh wow.
obviously someone else might do it in sort of normal proceedings, but there's only a couple of people in at the moment. But
Mm.
yeah,
and there's like a well thought of brewing team. Once upon a time, I used to know about kind of brewers and stuff. Don't anymore, but I do know about Bait Mill, and a couple of people there who've got a good pedigree.
Yeah. I mean, the head brewer Sophie, she's well, because she's a celiac, they do all these like crazy things with malts that you don't necessarily taste in the beer. It still just tastes like beer, and it's produced really well. But the actual science, the sort of science behind it all, and how they make all those different sort of malts and different grains that they use work is quite incredible, really.
She used to work at Maltings, though, didn't she?
Yeah, because Muntins is like 2 minutes down the road from Burnt
Mill. She's a celiac maltsters.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of like shows advanced knowledge as well, which is
exactly. Yeah, they know what they're sort of where science and art combine, really. I think in brewing, and those guys especially.
So Craig, what you got lined up tonight? We got as Craig. Craig has 2 residences.
Well, I mean, I wanted to get some time and tide, but it was just a bit tricky for me to get me in time, basically. So I thought, well, don't know what to do. I know it's only down the road. Well, it's about 15 miles or so, but I was like, is it gonna?
That's so not just down the road.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not walking that.
I'm not walking, but and
you're outside their delivery area as well, aren't you? So.
Yeah, not the immediate area of the deal and that sort of area. Warmer sort of sandwich area. I'm a bit too far.
Warmer sandwich. Is that toasty?
yeah. Ham sandwich.
You've never heard that one before.
Ham sandwich. Yeah, that's a good beer. So I went for something. I go to London fairly regularly, of course, visiting family. Or certainly did.
You do. You spend a percentage of the month really in London, don't you?
Well, about every 3 or 4 weeks generally.
Yeah.
But in normal times. But yeah, so brewing by numbers. I've started one already. I've got 2 open and one I'm going to crack in a bit. So I've gone for the lager. This is just for supping. They're 30. Which says Styrian Cardinal, 4.8%.
Styrian Cardinal. It's a new one on me.
I was trying to find the decent parts. Yeah, European Styrian Cardinal for a modern twist on a classic lager beer.
Fair enough.
Barley, hops, and yeast for usual bits and bats. But yeah, that's all right. That's just like get me into it sort of thing.
Keep you. What do you call it? Yeah, kind of like
yeah. So, and then I've got the 05 West Coast IPA, which is the 2020 edition of South Focus. There we go. So 6.8%.
I didn't know they'd done any West Coast IPAs.
Yeah, they do. They do this, and they do obviously the East Coast version, which is exactly the same kind of hops, etc. It's just the malts are slightly different. So it's got Laurel, Citra, Summit, Chinook. Is it Zeus hops?
Yes. Yeah, Zeus, which is that kind of weird kind of bit hop that has multiple names, doesn't it?
Yeah.
CTZ.
I've heard that one, but yeah, I mean
Zeus, Tomahawk, or Columbus, is it? I don't remember. Let's see. CTZ, I think it is.
But so yeah, it's just the different yeasts basically in this barley, wheat, hops, and that's it. Usual bats, and then later on, I'm going to crack open a stout, 08 stout. This is a chocolate and orange stout, 6.6.
I think they make some good lower ABV that beers, to lower, not kind of like big monsters, lower ABV beers to brew by numbers. I like brew by numbers. You just don't see a hell of a lot of it.
I mean, I wasn't sure. I thought, well, should I open that one or this one, coffee porter? got one of those as well.
Oh, yeah. I love their coffee quarters.
Yeah, what did I have the other day? I can't even remember. But this was absolutely phenomenal. I don't know if you've seen that about. That was amazing.
I haven't. No, I noticed Peter had done he'd had it recently. I don't know if he put a video up about it.
But yeah, and then that was a couple of nights ago. That one last night, that was pretty good. So yeah, I've got quite a few of these sort of, all from the Little Swift as well. Throw that in their local business over in Margate. So
absolutely,
I always support, and I get all this stuff delivered to my door. So it's like, you know what I mean?
That's great. Yeah,
perfect for me. I mean, I'm drinking better beer since the lockdown than I was before.
Yeah, me too.
It's the way it kind of goes, isn't it? Because
more of it.
Just
in like a day, in like a day, like a sesh.
Yeah, I mean, I supported the Watson Brewery, which is up the road. I've got a case of beer, mixed case.
Seeing that a couple of weeks
12 ago. And a couple of cans and stuff like that. But the Ramsgate Brewery, I do want to support them, but they're only selling by the case, and I'm like, I don't really want to get a whole 12 pack of bottles. And it's not being nasty. It's just like if they done a mixed case, I'd be like, yeah, I'll have four of that, no problem.
Exactly, my same with Saltaire, but it's not where their beer excels really. I mean, I said, when tap rooms are open, it's literally a 2-minute walk from my front door. I'll be in their little tap room enjoying that cask ale, but these bottles just don't kind of like out where they shine. You can get it in supermarkets and it's solid, but it's not the best representation of them. So before we crack on with the first beer, so just a couple of comments, people saying hello really. So Harry from Blue Nose Beer Review says, evening chaps. Evening, Harry. Ollie from Pint Sized says, hello gents. Then Harry says, had a temple jobby last night, which is the one what I'll kind of discuss in a minute. And Craig, if you've got the if you want to get nimble on the old Untapped.
Okay then.
I'm really curious about my two. And Untapped.
I need to
jump on there. So just to give you a little heads up, Craig, mine's salts and it's called Give Me the Dose. So if you want to jump on Untapped, it's gonna. I kind of did warn you in jest the other day, but I mean, yeah, it is your role, so just get ready for it. You are the Untapped dude. You're our statistician.
Craig the stat man.
Statman Craig. And so Harry, after I kind of like give you my opinions, I'll be curious to see what you thought of it as well. And then we've got Alex Hobson Drums, and that's Alex, who's a friend of mine, and who I would normally have a drink with on a Thursday night in my local craft beer bar and shop, the Triangle, but that's not going on at the moment. So we have a beer on a Thursday night. Same crew as who meet up in person. We're doing that over StreamYard at the moment, so that's nice. I mean, you kind of see people, you aren't kind of losing touch with people, and you're not getting bored out of your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it's bad, but I think in this situation, I think you end up drinking more.
I do anyway. At home and stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think about walking home, do you?
No.
Crack on. I'll have another one. I've got to walk to the kitchen.
And the beer is pre-purchased. You have already paid for that beer.
It's free.
Yeah. So it's not like when you're out and you go, oh well, I'd have to spend another sort of £5-6 if I got another one. You've already got it.
Right. So I'll give you. I've already done a review of this, so I've got a bit of an opinion, and but I'll be curious how both of these, because they're both kind of dark beers and how they kind of open up, and we'll all kind of go through a little one of these for each of our beers this evening, instead of having that kind of like joint thing. But we can still kind of discuss it and ask questions and shit. So yeah, so it's a 7.2% coffee and donut port, so legitimate industries. Brewery, what you don't really see a hell of a lot of. From what I used to understand, they were kind of tied in with Red's Barbecue, and then Temple Donuts, who were just fucking ace. Sadly, you two gents haven't been, but I took Peter one time, and his mind was suitably blown, and he bought like as much merch as he could buy as possible. It's kind of like a craft beer. If donuts and coffee had like the craft beer kind of like makeover, it would be essentially that. It's kind of like cool young people with like haircuts and tattoos, and they've got cool merch, and the product's really good and exciting and interesting. So that's his collaboration with them. So as you can see, I'd say black. When I first poured it out of the can, it did have a bit of head. It had quite a nice head. Yeah, kind of like that kind of mid-brown, but it's quite a dark beer. But it is a porter, 7.2. But it poured relatively thin. One thing that kind of strikes me is the nose it's a bit lacking. I mean, this is one thing we can talk about. It's about kind of Craig. I mean, sorry, Jake. You'll know about this in kind of work that you're doing. Managing expectation is an important thing. If you say coffee and donut, you kind of want it, and if your expectations being set by, I know it's probably more of an extreme one, but I mean, so my mate Alex, who commented, is a big fan of double glazed from Amundsen, and that's nuts. It's over the top. It's too much. But when you've had kind of experience something like that, you kind of go, you're making associations like, are we going to go in that direction? And then when it's a bit kind of muted, you think, am I missing something?
Yeah,
but it smells okay.
That's the reason you pick it up, isn't it? The reason you pick up that can is because you see those flavors on there, and so you want it to deliver. Yeah. You want the goods.
Exactly.
Rob, you have to share the other screen, Rob. You should see it next to me or Jake.
Oh yeah, is that the thing for the? Yeah, I will do for the when we get to the untapped bit.
Yeah,
yeah, but I get a bit of it. I get a bit of a slightly kind of sweetened kind of dough, but it's more coffee kind of like forward. But it's not huge. I mean, so I guess I'm just expecting kind of like madness. But as far as flavour goes, yeah, once again, it's a porter. It's not a stout, so it is thinnish. But the flavour's okay. It's got for me, it's got a bit of more dark chocolate and a bit of. It's that kind of like slightly powdery, kind of like cheap cocoa powder. If you got Bourneville cocoa powder, if it's just because it's a recognisable brand doesn't mean it's good. So it's a bit dusty. But for me, it kind of lacks a bit of sweetness. It's pleasant. Don't get me wrong, but it's more coffee forward. It's kind of filter coffee. But there's something maybe I'm just willing it in to be a bit donutty, a bit more donutty than it is. As I said, it's fine, but it's just not. Yeah, I ain't got those kind of elements jumping out at me, which I was hoping for. So all in all, it's all right.
If you had Pump Up the Jam from Tiny Rebel, is it anything along that sort of ballpark or?
For me, that was just more kind of. That was sweet. That's a lot sweeter, a lot more synthetic.
Yeah.
This is more of a straight up porter.
I know it's a different style.
With a smattering of interest beyond that. But I think I was hoping on a bit more sweetness. Definitely, I think. I mean, what else is in it? So they've used coffee from Temple. I mean, they do amazing coffee. They do amazing donuts. And it's also got cacao and vanilla pods in it, which you kind of think they're trying to beef it up a bit, but maybe just not put enough of it all in. But it's pleasant, but so I'm kind of left a little bit flat. So we'll jump on to the Untapped. See, but with both my beers, I'm really interested to see what other people have thought, because I don't know, especially with the one I'll get on to after you two have done your first one. I'm really curious about what people are picking up on. So I feel like I lost my sense of smell and taste about 3 weeks ago. So, but I'm fine. I think I'm fine. So I'm getting really kind of like, huh? Have I lost a little fucking element of my kind of senses or something? Or are these beers just kind of missing something? Anyway, so there we've got what we've got on here then. Craig, if you want to run us through.
Right.
Can you see okay, or do I want to make it a full screen? There we go.
7.2. You already said that. You've gone through all the things. So you may as well go to. It's only had, obviously it's a fairly new beer. Looking at this, 79 both in the last 30 days in total.
It's very drinkable.
So yeah, 79 ratings then overall, and 3.71. So it's almost like a what's that, 7.5 out of 10 if you like, ish. So I mean, I'll be curious. It's one of them beers. I'll be curious. Oh, what's that about? You know?
Yeah. So what are people saying then? I'm really interested to see what people have been. Do anybody know on that list?
Mate, probably.
Thing from Beer House. Dave from Beer House in Ossett.
Yeah.
Peter's getting some. So it's a 3.5s, not 3.5s.
Yeah.
Not many comments yet. No, there you go from Beer House. Good porter. Could have had more coffee. I could have had more, for me, I'm going to say I could have had more donut.
Yeah.
A lot of local stuff. Yorkshire craft beers. Where's that from then?
Not many comments. Actual.
No. That's what I was kind of thinking about.
It's not like people haven't got the time.
No, come on.
You can put the
I
comment
don't
on
even put. But to be honest, I don't even fucking put it on.
No, I never put a comment on it, but
yeah. I do. It's funny. I do when I'm out in the pub on my own. I can. It's normally so I look busy. So, or someone could talk to you. You know.
Yeah, lots. Yeah, fending off the fucking weirdos. Lots of 3.5 seems to be quite well. He's got 3.75.
Oh, here we go. There's a bit there.
What did they say? Sorry, I don't think I've got down to it. Oh, yeah. Late check-in from yesterday. Okay, nothing amazing. Coffee stands out much more than the donut. Yeah, well, there you go. Elliot J.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my. I think that kind of sums up my experience. It's just kind of reassuring.
There's another one there. Look, plenty of coffee, but
coffee, but not donut for me. Yeah, I think it's just lacking that sweetness that I was kind of hoping for. Donut, isn't it? I mean, maybe it's because of the.
A lot of people are saying it's lacking. So.
It's fine. It's a pleasant drink and it's going to disappear quite soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've
Hopsters. That's my local bottle shop.
Oh,
Harry had it.
Yeah, well, Harry's just posted his comments actually, so I'll just read Harry's comments. He said, "I thought the Buddy on Man was okay. Coffee was a little much for me. All right, see, I want more coffee. I want more of everything really. I expected more sweetness. Was powdery chocolate, as you say. Oh, thank you. I was hoping it would be a jammy donut, which it wasn't at all. Who even eats ring donuts?"
Oh, I like a glazed. I like just a glazed ring donut every now and again.
I'm so sorry. I'm used to these streams not being public.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, it's a funny old situation that I said because donuts from. No, that's not. Is it? What do we do in there? There we go. Donuts from. I'm just going to remove it for a minute. Yeah, there we go. Donuts from Temple are quite over the top. They're kind of the fucking so Instagrammable. The Temple's products, and they are fucking amazing. And it turns out they're vegan as well, which kind of puts me in my place. That anything baked and vegan is essentially a bit bland, but they're all quite high concept, all pretty fucking crazy flavors. They're looking insane, they're really over the top, and they're fantastic. Ha ha! I'll let that one slide by. I said me and Peter grabbed a few and took them up to North, and we paired them with one of their triple fruit goes, which was just maybe we did it with two different. That's it. I think we did 2 different triple fruited goes with 2 different donuts. It was a fantastic experience. But I think it's because everything's really heightened. That beer, I mean, that fucking triple fruited goes is a bit fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And same with the donuts. So it really worked. I guess. Which donut is it? If it's maybe it's like a ring donut, which it probably is.
So did they actually put in the brew they actually use donuts.
And the coffee and donuts from
Yeah, because it's interesting. Because when you think of because the donut itself is the way to deliver whatever flavor you put on it, isn't it? So a donut itself is actually not. It's not tasteless, but like you wouldn't just eat a donut without any flavor in, would you? Not even like if it had just you wouldn't eat a donut that didn't have like powdered sugar on at least or a glaze or something like that. So like the donut itself is inherently not that tasty, is it?
Bit doughy, bit greasy.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You just fry dough.
Beers for me, that's one of the beers that springs to mind for me is Glazed and Confused from Hudson. That was
exactly. So my mate Alex, who'd been commenting,
pretty damn sweet.
Simon, I watched his review of the next level one from Amundsen, which is like 15% and fucking even more insane. But that Glazed and Confused is. Yeah. I had a third of it and struggled with it, and we were like, "Fuck, this is
enough. Third's enough." Yeah, I couldn't do a can. I don't think on my own.
You have to have the insulin, kind of like on standby. Honestly, it was nuts.
Yeah.
Your teeth would just fall out. Drink a whole can of that.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, no.
It's one of them.
It's an experience, and I mean, I kind of like that breweries like that are around where you can have a bit of a fucking crazy experience. But I guess what this needs is just a little bit, turn the volume up a bit, because when you go in gimmicky as well, when you go in kind of like a bit of concept beer, I think you gotta fucking go for it, really. And
you got to
go for it.
Don't go half. Don't go halfway, kind of thing.
Half baked, as you said. Ho ho ho! Should have saved it for that very moment, Craig. You've done that all right, Storm. So that's my first one. So, as the order I set up earlier. So, Jake, what are you gonna show? What show and tell?
So I've brought to class this Great Bitter Lake. It's a West Coast double IPA. It says. Lean malt profile gives just enough body to support the Whirlpool additions of Columbus and Citra. Centennial, Simcoe, Mosaic, and Idaho 7 combine in the dry hop for fresh citrus and pine aromas. And it's one of those things that there seems to be a renaissance of sort of West Coast IPAs and double IPAs on the market at the moment.
Well, that's going to be a conversation I think we're going to have after this.
Yeah.
After you've finished your tasting note.
And to a lesser or greater degree, depending on what ones you've had. But I mean, this one, I don't know if the camera does it justice, but that is pin bright and sort of crystal clear.
You can see the reflection of your screen.
And I mean, I've had the can open for a little bit now, but the head on it was initially sort of tight and foamy and rocky. It was it looks like a West Coast double IPA, and then on the aroma. It is the definition of grapefruit in a beer, which is like it's stonking it. And I mean this doesn't really go down like the dank side of like West Coast IPA. This is grapefruit smashing you in the face.
Yeah,
and I mean it sort of brings you back to those West Coast IPAs of before Cloudwater version 3. But I mean it's one like I did a quick review of it before I started and I said on the review if someone wanted to know what grapefruit in beer smelled like as like a baseline like that this is that beer. It is crazy. And then on the taste initially I got like the breakfast juice orange peel. I got like lots of citrus up front, and I thought, oh, okay, it's not gonna have that bitterness, but it builds and builds and builds, and it lingers, and it's like glorious. The bitterness is great.
I was thinking when you were saying those things, I'm getting like itching to look on that website.
It's just so clean and crisp and doesn't drink like 8% at all, so it's a bit dangerous. The bitterness lets you know that it's sort of like quite a big beer, but God, it is damn good. The sort of it's like a slick, oily mouthfeel to it. There's on the taste. There's a little bit more pine and sort of a touch of dankness, but it is just it's almost got it's just those classic flavors really.
Fantastic. Yeah, I've had a
I had
nice.
a can last night. It was pretty good.
Oh,
I really
you've had
enjoyed
it then?
It was good.
Ah,
Last night,
Yeah.
Cool. So you
I've got
enjoyed it?
another one in the fridge.
See, I want it now.
I've got another one downstairs.
I think I'm missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a couple, haven't they? Have they often had like bitter in the title? One called Bitter Lake or Bitter End or something like that.
Yeah. This
Bitter
one's
Lake,
the Great Bitter Lake.
Bitter Lake.
I think they might have done a few. I can't remember them all because
Lake,
they use like the same names and then it's like changed the hops and so it's hard to keep up with them sometimes.
Yeah, well, there's
I had a tap takeover. They come down. When was that? January, February. They come down to the Ravens Gate and they brought one of the not the newer Gardens of Green that's out now, the double IPA.
Don't wind me up about that.
Idaho 7 and White Eye or whatever it is.
Yeah,
something like that.
But,
so that was great. That was great.
Something small.
That one.
Maori.
Yeah, but that's probably the best beer they brought down out of about 8 beers. And Bitter Lake was there as well. It's still nice, but yeah, beer is.
Yeah.
It's pretty drinkable for the ABV.
So are they classing it as double? I mean, it's 8, isn't it?
They've classed it as double West Coast double IPA.
Yeah, see, I did laugh. I mean, and I want you to tell us about it in a bit. About the one that you reviewed recently, the double IPA, which you were going crazy for.
Yeah,
sold out on their online shop. So now I've got to go and scout the internet to try and find it, Anna.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's have a pass over to the stats about this one.
So, I mean, 8%. So there's 196 total check-ins, 188 last 30 days kind of business. So, it's a new brew. 168 ratings. It's coming in at 4.19. So that's pretty. I mean, it's not loads of ratings, but it's still a very high score for that kind of deal. So, there's not much on
beer as well, I guess, isn't it?
Fairly new, yeah. So let's have a look. Caps and Taps. That's obviously down in. I assume that's in London.
It is.
We've been there, Craig. We're filmed in there.
There's a bottle shop similar kind of name in the middle.
Yeah, Johnny deposited us in there, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's his local shop.
Yeah. He mentioned him the other day, actually.
He did, yes. He did, yeah.
Because their birthday recently, or the shop's birthday.
Right. It's Johnny's birthday as well. Is it today? No, it was Friday. Thursday.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. So someone's been purchased at the brewery. So
lots of 4 and upwards, 4.25s, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's a good sign. Golden colour, dank pineapple cubes. I'm liking all these, Fraser.
Dank pineapple cubes. I'm nicking that one.
I know, a good balance of piney hops, caramel malt, red grapefruit. Oh, I'm liking your tasting notes, Fraser.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not so sure about the caramel malt on that one. It's quite a light malt, really. I'd say, but
so it looks the biz. Just as far.
So a lot of 4.25s. So that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was the overall? I completely missed that. At the moment, 4.19. That's fucking good. That's a good thing for a West Coast IPA, a double IPA at the moment. Because my issue with the West Coast double IPA at the moment is that it tastes nothing like a fucking West Coast double IPA.
They're like the hybrid.
Making ball bitter. Which So now I want this because I want to. I'm sat at a laptop. I need to go and look at online beer shops. Like,
Yeah.
Much less sweetness would be almost ideal. Great West Coast double IPA takes me back to a British Columbia glorious pink grapefruit. Fleshy blood orange in that one.
No.
Fleshy blood. Yeah. There's no chocolate toffee caramel in it.
Glorious pine grapefruit, super smooth. It's all sounding good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you were saying earlier about kind of obviously Ed Razzle is working there at the moment, and his little brewing project, which is probably on hold, I'm sure, at the moment. But from Adnam, so he's got a good sensibility about that. Oh yeah, that's where you got yours from, I presume, then, Craig.
Yeah.
4.25 West Coast style.
Yep, absolutely.
I want that.
But yeah, so it's pretty much.
I can't not look now. I'm gonna have to look on Burnt Mill's website.
There's another language I can't be. I'm not even going to bother with that. But yeah, so that's a.
He got it on Honest Brew. That guy, Joachim.
There's me. I should be putting that up there, really. But there you go.
What did you give it, Craig?
I gave it. You have to see the review. So.
He's a juicy dangler.
Yeah.
He's dangling that one out there. So, yeah. Tune into some beer reviews on YouTube. Find out. Shit out.
But no, it's a good beer.
Yeah, it's that building bitterness for me. It doesn't. It's not like it's crazy in your face bitterness.
You got to click off it.
Sorry, I was looking. You seeing me?
Right,
there we go. No, I was just remove from soup. There we go. Yeah, I was just looking at they do have it in stock on the Burnt Mill's website, but they don't have that tasty double IPA. What Jake was. Jake, while we're on it, do you want to tell us about that one?
Oh yeah, it was the Gardens of Green. It was the final one in that series where they combined every hop that they had used in all the previous batches. So there's like 7 hops in it or something. 7 different hop varieties.
Yeah.
And whereas this is a sort of the Great Bitter Lake. That's a sort of blueprint of a West Coast double IPA. That what was everyone called? I'd literally just said it.
Sorry,
Gardens of Green. Yeah, that
are available on Honest Brew. Yeah. Maybe it might be using that old discount code in a minute.
Yeah, that was an archetypal New England IPA, double IPA. It was just so juicy and so well done, but it still had sort of like more sort of like grown up flavors in there. There was a little bit of a spicy, peppery edge, and it wasn't all just sweet and cloying, and it was just drinkable. It took every fiber of my being not to just neck it, because it was just so good.
That's good. That's good that an ABV like that you want to just get. That's a good.
Yeah.
It
really got me.
Giants? That's a real.
Oh yeah, that's very
for me with Burnt Mill. That's my favourite Burnt Mill, but up there with that.
Yeah, I'd say that one was better. I'd say was better for me, but I mean, it was one of those things where I was drinking it, and I didn't look at anything up about it beforehand or anything like that, and it was one of those moments where you fall back in love with beer again, when it just makes you smile.
Yeah.
And you're just like, Jesus, that's how can an alcoholic beverage make you that happy?
Chasing after that moment.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a well-brewed beer and it was going to be decent quality, but I didn't know it was going to be that good, and it did really sort of blow my socks off. Really. I mean, I hammed it up for effect on my review. But...
Yeah, no, I can't wait to try it.
I might have bigged it up too much, though, Craig. You're going to have it and be like,
I haven't watched your review yet, so I haven't watched. But I had that last night from them, their Cascade Reflection series.
Oh yeah.
That's Reflection.
Any good?
So yeah, I love that kind of. Yeah, very good. It's a 6.2 IPA.
I do like the artwork from Burnt Mill.
West Coast.
It just stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
It's just
In this world of
awesome.
wonderfully designed, kind of like vector-based graphics, he says wearing the Drew Miller t-shirt.
Yeah.
They're one of the kings of it all, really. They really stand out from the crowd in that sense because it is of a quality, but it's just different in style to a lot of the others. I love it.
Yeah. No, I couldn't recommend that beer enough. Really, that's really good.
I want it now. I've already started adding stuff to my basket on Honest Brew. I'm like, yeah, I'll have that one as well. Then I'm like, oh, that's a bit pricey. I won't get that one. Oof. I can have those Northlands from somewhere else. It's gonna rain in me fucking beer spending at the moment.
As soon as as soon as they come in at the Little Swift, I got 2 of the Great Bitter Lakes and 2 of the Gardens of Green. I got 2 of each, so I was like, yeah, I've got to. I don't normally, but you know, it's just it's unusual. It's unusual to actually go out, but I'm more again trying to look after a very good bar just up the road and want to see him the other. Yeah, just want to see him the other side.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to go back to it, don't you? So.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
So that's the thing, isn't it? I guess that's what we were kind of like we were touching on earlier, weren't we? About actually, we'll get onto that after Craig's had his first one as well. I don't want to starve the fella, but I think it's worth talking about. Like, kind of like how kind of like current drinking and difference of like how it might be in the near future. But Craig, what you got on first then, fella?
Right, so as you can see on screen, 05 West Coast IPA. This is, it says 2020. They're still going around the circle of doom. There we go. Is it going to go? Probably.
Yeah, I can still hear you. It's all right. It's all that malware from all.
Not on this computer. But
clean as a whistle.
So yeah, I mean, it's Laurel, Citra, Summit, Chinook, Zeus hops, or useful hops, whatever you want to call it.
Interesting.
So yeah, they got
for
two.
West Coast, that one.
They've got 2 versions. They got obviously the West Coast and the East Coast with the difference of different yeast for each.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what the other one's about. I haven't gone there, but yeah. So we go up to the. So it's had 95 like total and in the last 30 days. So it's new. 35 ratings, 4.02. So no, I do like to find out the IBUs, especially to West Coast IPA. But oh well.
It used to be such a thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
IBUs used to be such a thing.
I mean, it was canned on the 30th of March. So
nice.
So there you go.
Pretty fresh.
About 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks. Yeah.
Not bad at all.
So let's have a butcher's.
I got something in from Pressure Drop the other day that was canned the day before. I'm like, I'm not going to drink that for at least a week.
Yeah.
The concept of freshness is I think it's something too fresh.
I had the MRB in Basic from Pressure Drop. It was canned literally the day before. They brought 4 cans down with them to the tasting at the Little Swift earlier in the year. And yeah, that was a bit weird. It wasn't even released when we had it. It wasn't even in the experiment when we had it. It's like we had it the day before, apparently. But whatever. So yeah, apparently this beer is on the. I think this is part of the cyber tasting for Beer 52. They've done. I think it's
the Cyber Festival.
Yeah. Was it earlier in the week? I don't know.
I think it was yesterday.
Might have been yesterday.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. I think. So there you go. That's surprising that I don't know how much the box was. It was about 30 quid for 10 beers, whatever. So yeah, a lot of
You
people
know
are having
about
it
it, doesn't
from.
offer me one.
There we go.
Do you want me to jump onto?
Everyone,
Do you want me to jump onto Untapped? Okay.
I thought you was on it.
Oh no, I want.
I can't see, so.
No, I thought I was awaiting your tasting notes before we jumped into that.
Ah, okay. Okay then. Well, we'll jump off then.
It's all right. Yeah. Just trying to develop a format. Go. I'm on the hoof.
It's a beer that's kind of I don't know.
It's a beer
Because I'm not used to the style anymore. So
Yeah. What you mean?
Whereas before I used to be really kind of really was honed in on them, but it's kind of a style. I mean, I've had 2 or 3 the last few days. It's still not got to the point where my taste buds are getting used to it again. If that makes sense, because you're also used to these kind of hazy, crazy, juice bombs these days, and I think to a degree it's completely changed my palate. So, but this one's it's got a lovely kind of, without going whether or not it's because my palate's kind of acclimatized to the beer. When I first tried it, it was very kind of, it's very grapefruit up front. Not crazy amount of pine or anything like that. There's bits and bats, skirts around the edges a little bit, but it's not full on bash pine. To me, there is a more bitterness than what I'm generally used to, but I wouldn't say it's one of them rasping in your face kind of bitterness. I mean, this is a 6.8, so I mean,
I like that. I like that environment.
That's classic West Coast IPA ABV. That is 6.8.
Yeah, not double. Yeah, not double kind of 9 or whatever. That would be a big old bitter lump, I would imagine, if it was something like that. But I mean, it was just about enough bitterness. It's quite well balanced. There is a kind of a slight, not earthiness, but I wouldn't even call it dankness either. There's something else there lurking in the background. But it's very subtle, but very crushable, very enjoyable. Just
that's what you want, isn't it?
Fairly juicy as well, although you are getting that. Yeah, you are getting that grapefruit kind of zing, if you like. There's some like kind of lemon pith, sort of slight dryness going on, and it's just a very delicate sort of bitter finish. Oh, nice beer. Nice beer. I'll get it again if it's knocking around anywhere, for sure.
Yeah, so, the whole kind of the re-emergence of the West Coast IPA, I'm all in favour of, but I've not had like a proper West Coast IPA in a while. So my kind of understanding of what West Coast IPA was probably 2014, when I was in California, and things have changed since then. Yeah. I'd love to have some good representations of what is West Coast IPA these days, but I've got a good idea because I've got some friends who are big they're really against East Coast stuff, big fucking obsessive West Coast fans. But I think their understanding of what West Coast isn't actually a representation of what West Coast is now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that either anymore. So it's all about kind of like points of reference.
Yeah, I think it's all. I think they're melding together, aren't they? I think like I think I've said it before on a stream. There was the race to the IBU limit, the ultra bitter West Coast, and there was the race to the ultra no IBU East Coast stuff, and then everyone comes back to balance and alignment again, and that's what I think a lot of people are doing now, are sort of hybridizations of style where it might be juicy and cloudy, but also has a bitter finish. It's not completely lacking bitterness. Whereas that from that burnt meal one, was completely clear and really bitter.
Yeah, I mean that's fairly clear. It's not. There's a slight kind of it's fairly clear. It's not.
Once upon a time,
it hasn't got any of that I like it a little bit more. I like
Chill
a little
haze.
bit more kind of jammy, like orange jam, stroke marmalade sweetness with a bit of pine, or more pine than what I'm getting. But that's just my personal kind of palate, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more in that kind of malt to bring it up a little bit as well. That's just me, I guess. But yeah, no, it's still a very nice beer though. I'm digging it. It's good.
Very good, very good. So shall we jump on the old Untapped now? Have a look at this bugger.
Yep.
So what's its overall rating? Then?
Cyberfest.
Oh, nice one. Okay, fair enough.
Oh,
touch of delicious pine.
Yeah, well, 4.02.
Oh,
good.
That's
4.02.
East or West, in the name of the experimentation, the creativation of each. So that's okay. Well, it's a nice idea. I think Brick did it kind of thing as well, didn't they? Who got an online shop?
The large.
Understocked at the moment, but I only discussed Brick. Brick got rid of their online shop, which I was really disappointed with.
Yeah.
And then they've opened it up again. Snackerall on there at the moment. So.
Yeah, it's a good sign, I guess. It's just selling out.
See, I want to buy loads of brewery merch at the moment, but nobody sees me.
Exactly, what's the point? I really want to buy trainers. I keep looking at buying new trainers. Like the amount of ads I get delivered now on Instagram for like Vans and Nike and all that sort of stuff. But like, they'll stay fresh for ages.
Sorry, Craig, we're interrupting.
I'm just seeing if there's any kind
look at that. That's a good review. Wow. Maybe it made me wobbly.
Oh, great.
Not used.
It's an interesting use of hops, because I suppose they've gone for hops that can lend themselves to East Coast and West Coast style of beer.
Yeah, that's a funny one, isn't it? That's what I was thinking when in both beers, well, you both mentioned, is the whole, when you think of West Coast, you think of sea hops.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still here? Have I still got it up? There it is.
Yeah.
I've got my. I'll just quickly. Once upon a time, there used to be a homebrewers thing which went on every year, and it was this time it was at Saltaire Brewery. It was Ada, who used to be one of the brewers there, set up, and I was asked to brew a beer for the cask, and it was a West Coast APA. And it was called C-Bomb, and he used Chinook, Centennial, and Citra. So, sorry, I'm going back onto you now. Going back onto that. But I always see that as being the those kind of hops. I mean, it's Chinook, Cascade, Centennial, Columbus to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Then the more kind of like different stuff would be Simcoe. But I mean, that's when I think of West Coast IPA, they're the kind of hops that I always the boring stuff like Willamette and have a bit of a cluster in it or something like that. But
I mean, the Great Bitter Lake had Columbus and Citra in the Whirlpool, and then Centennial, Simcoe, Mosaic, and Idaho in the dry hop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty classic. Idaho 7's obviously a bit of a newer addition to the team.
Yeah, I've had a great American beer from which uses just Idaho 7, and that was absolutely spanking. Called Living in Our Own Private Idaho, from a brewery called Fat Orange Cat. That was amazing. One of my most overriding memories of Idaho 7 is the day after the night before in Birmingham, and I had a Colonel Idaho 7 and something IPA, and it was fucking awful. I don't know if it was me or the beer. But I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's horrible. It tastes like Shandy Bass. But yeah. So overall, Craig, are you a fan? Did you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see that there seems to be a few West Coast IPAs. Obviously, what Jake's just drunk or drinking this.
Yes, Salt have got one on.
Yeah,
North have got one knocking around.
That one is a West Coast. Yeah, that's another West Coasty from Birmingham as well, which I had recently.
I'll just be all the fucking same.
It's nice. But it's nice just to, get a few breweries actually starting to do.
Well, that was always the thing about IPA was the variation in styles. That just IPA, the sort of what IPA means. And just to get just to get bombarded with New England all the time is a bit monotonous.
As much as I enjoy it,
it does get a bit.
Yeah, when you get a good one,
exactly.
like the burnt mill one I jizzed my pants about the other week. When you get a good New England IPA, it is sensational. It's all the drudgery you have to go through to get one.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I'm a bit jaded. No, go on, Craig.
Yeah. I think it's just the market, the way it's set up. You get sucked in by it.
Trends, isn't it?
Oh, what's that? And then, then the curiosity kicks in by it, and it's like, actually, I want to try this. I want to try that. And as much as I want to try the New England stuff, like most of us do, but it's still. I just want to see where the taste buds are at and stuff. It's quite interesting just to on that alone, really, just to see where they're at. And the West Coast taste buds are like, yay! Where have you been? I haven't seen you for 5 years.
That's it.
That thing.
You've got to have this kind of like. You've got to have kind of like. It can't be all just one color. You need different kind of shades and tones. And I love IPA, and I primarily drink pale hoppy beer. But I do like a bit of variety within that, and I don't, because sometimes it can become endless kind of like lovely shades of beige.
Mm-hmm.
As much as everyone likes a dirty, filthy kind of like stodgy beige buffet, you don't want to eat it every day, do you?
No, you'll be
nice
bunged
chicken
up.
legs and Scotch eggs and sausage rolls and shit like that.
Well,
it all becomes a little bit tiresome.
Even before the New England sort of craze took off over here in the UK, I felt there was a lot of variation between breweries and their definition of a West Coast. Like that brewery, theirs would be maltier, that being more caramel. That one would be really bright and citrusy, but still bitter. And like that one would be like a brewery would be really sort of grassy and really weedy and all that sort of thing. So even within like West Coast, I felt there was more variation, whereas New England is sort of like the usual suspects, really.
Yeah, then V3 come along and change the whole landscape in UK craft beer, basically. And Gypsy Hill, I believe. Can't remember.
Really?
About the same time.
I always think things I've said about kind of West New England IPA. It's like getting all the different colours out of your paint pot. Or you mix of paints and everything. You put them all together, and it just ends up slightly kind of like purpley brown.
Yeah, like Neapolitan ice cream. If you mix it together, it just goes brown. It doesn't matter that there's pink and white in there.
Brown's fine, and I mean, it tastes all chocolatey, doesn't it? But if that's all you get from every fucking different combination, then you're just seeking out better examples, I think. That's what I. Right then, so I'll crack on with my second one. So my second one is called Isobar. So Salt Beer Factory, in collaboration with Atom, is salted caramel and vanilla imperial stout, 11.8. So I don't have to do anything in the morning, apart from work a metal press.
Well, I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Been using any heavy machinery. No, I've got a memory of going into some kind of fabricators, and a fella who was working on a metal press had lost half his hand. So, if you're a key worker, try not to lose half your hand. So I have had this open for like an hour and a half or something, but I mean, I think it was something that needed a bit of time to open up. Even when it pours, it poured initially with a fizz of a head, but then retreats to virtually nothing. I've got more. When I first opened the can, there was fuck all aroma on it. Really was. There's a bit more now. There's a bit more, but it's my issue with this. It's got a lot of. It's boozy. I can feel it kind of burning my nose. It stings.
Stings the nostrils.
Stings the nostrils. It does a little bit. I'm sniffing it on the table just because. Why not?
Is it Natalie?
No, it's not pungent. It's not pungent either. It's just really annoyed the ass off me when I opened it up because I'm like, really? It's got an unfortunate flavour. Anybody want to hazard a guess of what?
I could guess what flavour it has if it's unfortunate for you.
Oh dear.
A nice cherry flavour does it have, Rob?
Yeah, there's a bit of cherry going on.
Cherry.
Yeah, there's a bit of cherry going on. And it does sting your nostrils, actually.
Perfect.
It's not massive on the cherry, but
at
least it's something now.
No butterscotch. No butterscotch though.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, Colin's a very talented brewer. Obviously, Colin Strong, head brewer at Salt.
Yeah.
Probably, I guess, made his name at Buxton.
Absolutely.
It's a real fucking head scratcher of this. In my video, I talk about how I'm like. I was saying at the start of this, I lost my smell and taste a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, am I deficient in certain things because there's kind of something scratching around at the back, but I can't taste it. It's kind of numbing in a way. This is one thing I'm thinking it is. I don't know if it's the alcohol. Because there's a sensation. But there's so little flavour. There's a booziness, there's a warmth, there's a slight kind of like bitterness, there's a bit of a tang. The back end, the aftertaste is quite unpleasant. It's kind of becoming a little bit like burnt sugar. So bitterness starts coming in from that. Salted caramel. I want a bit of sweetness. But obviously, salt balances it out. I think I get maybe a little bit too much salt, and I fucking love salt. Salt. I'm a salty bastard in every sense of the word. Well, apart from bastard bit. You bastard.
Yes, salty bastard.
You salty bastard. You vanilla bastard. You imperial stout bastard. It's boozy. But it doesn't, I love caramel. I fucking love vanilla. Vanilla is one of my favourite flavours, and it doesn't have enough of that. It isn't fragrant in a vanilla sense. It isn't sweet in like a vanilla ice cream sense. For me, it's missing a lot, and it's just this weird. It's quite a. I kind of get. It's slightly. It's got a bit of cough medicine going on. And it's just a bit. It's not bad. It's just not very good. It's not very nice. But it's not awful. So the previous one was lacking. This is a bit. It's just. It's a frustrating beer. And that's why I went and grabbed this out of the fridge. Because I knew this would be spot on. And it is lovely. And I do like the brewery. And I like the people involved in the brewery. It's just it's fallen short. I mean, I know I kind of like that these aren't great because it would be easy for us to come on and say, oh yeah, local beer, whoa, come on, way, fucking way, all this. But you've got to be truthful about the experience. You've got to be like, it is a bit. It's not great. It's not great. Is it to the expectation? Is it to do with delivery? Is it something personal? I'm kind of thrown. Okay.
Is it? Would you say it's potentially your palate, or?
I don't think so because I could tell it tastes everything in that. I have to see how this is it, and this is why I was really curious about the Untapped stuff on both those these beers. Because I'm like, is this me? in my isolation station, 2.0426.
Isolation inspiration station.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really curious what was there. Yeah, so it's called Isobar. You love an ISO bar, don't you, Craig?
Yeah, I've got it.
I know you. Craig loves the bit. He loves the.
I like any bar, especially at the moment. But
so 3.95. So it's got a decent rating.
3.95. Yeah, it's only had 80 odd, but then 65 to get that score. But
which is not often a great representation. I always find.
Yeah,
and I'm not slagging them off because I think Neon Raptor do some fantastic beer, but I think Neon Raptor are a brewery who get massively fucking inflated ratings based on small amounts of people creaming the jeans over them. I've had some great stuff, but I've also had some like, oh, it's all right. Yeah, it's nice, but so you've got to be careful about those. It's like so where's that tipping point with untapped ratings where it starts meaning something?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like about 300?
Yeah,
about 350 or something like that. Way it starts.
And I think like Neon Raptor has a bit probably similar to Salt maybe, where it's a lot of local people drinking it.
Yeah,
when you feel a bit more because it's your area, you're a bit more invested in that area, and you're like, well, that's a 4.
Yeah. I know you mean.
Beer for local people.
Yeah. So like any of you types around here.
Nothing for you here.
Yeah. Apart from me salted caramel and vanilla imperial stout.
Yeah,
just going to fall short. So Craig, do you want to scroll down and see?
Collaboration. I just noticed that. So.
Scroll. I was going to got just a few comments going back actually. Iogo Brown says, "Hope everyone's doing well." Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Matt Pink says, "Dutchy beers have their place. You're sharing them with friends. We have a nice sessionable pale." Yeah, I'm on board with that, Matt. And craft beer drinker is insinuating that Craig's on Windows XP. We just had a comment just now from Real Beer Revolution. It's not the easiest thing to say after you've had a few real beers. How much does a beer like that sell for there? What I'm on is about £6. It costs about about 30 or something like that. It's 11.8. It's a big fucking beer, and it's got loads of adjuncts and stuff. Even though maybe they've not nailed it. So Stephen R. 4. Have you found any actual tasting notes or ratings you're getting on the old Untapped, Craig?
Yeah, I'm on it. I've been on it.
Yeah. I can only see one page at the moment. Is it not scrolling? Oh, there we go. Yeah, move it around. A bit.
That's there. No, you want to see what people said, so I went down.
Comments. Sorry, it might have been rabbiting on while you were actually doing something of use. Really comments.
So that's the.
Yeah, that's the.
Not real. I mean.
Welcome to Flavortown.
So yeah, from Beer Heroes.
Yeah, you are a fucking clue, fella. Beer Heroes is in Chester, and it's a weird little bar. It's very, very weird. Craft beer shop, beer bottle shop.
That's a bit on the nose. Exactly.
Yeah. If you're looking for the most generic fucking name shop ever, I think we found it.
Yeah, it took them so long to work that one out.
For what? But see, they fucked themselves because this is a can, and your shop's called a bottle shop.
Yeah. That's why the bottle shop went under.
Yeah. Trade description act.
Yeah.
Purchase water into beer. That's a bit more imaginative. Craft beer bottle shop. Craft beer can shop. What's the can? There's that can shop near King's Cross, isn't there, which I went once. Wall of Cans or something like that.
House of Cans.
Yeah.
It could also be a strip joint.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah. Big and bold. Very nice.
Yeah,
It's
very
not.
nice.
It's
Very
big.
nice.
Very nice. I'm not sure if it is. I think it's a little bit.
Big.
It's big. Big.
It's big.
Yeah,
like that.
at the Viking.
Big.
There you
Black.
go. Look at that one.
It's black. Black like your heart. It's not cutting it for me. It's not doing it for me, Jonathan K. Yeah. Sorry, you lied to me.
Yeah, it's all to do whether you like it or not, I guess.
Sorry, but I'm just going to point out where the next place is. What's it called?
Which one?
The Adam team. Next review down. Where he bought it from.
That,
just want to point that
the
out.
Dead Pigeon. Oh, what a terrible name. What a terrible name.
Where's the Dead Pigeon? Well, I just want to find out where the Dead Pigeon is, and then we'll cut off this. But just for the sake of curiosity,
I'm sure there's plenty around at the moment.
Where's the Dead Pigeon? Oh, yeah, it's the 5G.
yeah. There you go. I'm just, Not,
So
there you
where
go.
is the Dead Pigeon?
Where is it?
Click on the highlighted thing.
I've just looked up where it is. If it's the same one.
Where is it?
Medway.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's in Medway.
I was going to say Craig will know where that is.
Where's Medway?
Yeah,
Medway. Kent.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Rochester. Yeah. Lovely town.
Well, there you go.
I've heard.
Maybe I think we need some live reviews from Craig at the Dead Pigeon, Rochester.
Oof, yeah.
Is it not a cracking place? Is that somewhere you're rushing to?
I don't
Rochester's a little bit dire.
I've never.
Sorry if you're watching and you're from Rochester.
You've lost loads of subscribers now.
Yeah, I had a big Rochester contingent on my.
But yeah, there's a lot of people are liking it more than me.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. So, turns out I'm wrong. I say, that's what I say.
It's all down to some red beer, apparently. So there you go.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Red beer is a good place to go. Everywhere else is sold out, I always find.
Just as I'd hoped. So there's people, it's all down to what you like.
It's all right.
Certain things.
It's just not. It's not hitting those.
There we go.
Once again, it's all about those.
Like a stout version of Special Brew.
You what?
Like a stout version of
Special Brew.
Depends what you're used to, doesn't it? It's,
Depends if you're a knob.
I mean, it depends. If you're not used to big old beers, then it's just why have you bought it?
More I drink it, more I enjoy it, but it's still got a bit of a weird. It's got a medicinal quality to it.
Is it barrel aged or anything like that, Rob, or is it just
sort of
a straight up big
stout? Vanilla.
I mean, I had this yesterday from White Hag, and it was salted caramel pastry stout, and that was 5.5%, and that was banging, really, for what it is.
That fucking umami thing on your lips, and everything.
Yeah,
MSG stout. That's what I want.
Yeah. Oh, real soy stout.
Oh, not just MSG. Just fucking chicken everything. What's that? What's that going to taste? That's what you want.
Yeah.
Love a bit of that.
Soy that.
Right. So, as we're taking it in turn, Jake, what's yours, matey?
Very good.
Oh, yeah. I had it on draft. Yeah, I thought it was good beer. So, Jake, what's your second beer?
Mine is After Earth. It's a barrel-aged Imperial Stout coming in at 11.5%. Yeah, go for it now. So this is I'll read the back because it's always an informative spiel on Burnt Mills cans. A complex mix of specialty and dark malts make up a grist with cane molasses added in the boil. The beer then being left to age in bourbon barrels. Coffee, vanilla, and toasted coconut flakes were introduced before packaging to further complement the beer's richness and complexity. So it's an interesting brew. What that means, I think when they add it after it's been in the barrel, it's that they weren't necessarily too happy with what was in the barrel. But I could be mistaken on that one. But I mean, this is like motor oil coming out of the glass there, and for 11.5%, you get like a nice sort of decent lacing of head there, and it doesn't go too quickly, but you can sort of you can see it going. But it's not jet black; it's a little bit red tinged around the edges, I'd say. Not quite all black, but
bit of brown sauce around the edges.
yeah, you could say that. But it's After Earth, yeah, barrel aged imperial stout. But for me, initially, it was a big rush of dark chocolate, which then gets completely sort of like overtaken by the barrel and by like the whiskey element to it. Which is like, I mean, I'm a whiskey fan. I enjoy that. So it's almost got a bit of like a hot smell to it. And then there is a hint of vanilla. There's vanilla and coconut in it. I get more of the vanilla. I don't get too much of the coconut. Maybe there's a bit of a roasted coconut vibe, but it's not massive. But I think vanilla and barrel aged beers, they seem to like complement each other. I think you can actually get from some barrel aged beers that don't have vanilla in it. I always get like a little vanilla-y thing anyway.
Well, in theory, you should get vanilla from like fresh oak.
Yeah. So it could be something like that. It just seems to complement it.
Sorry, did you say what kind of barrels it's been?
It was bourbon barrel.
Bourbon, okay.
Yeah,
all
bourbon
right.
barrel.
Any particular? Does it mention which bourbon barrel?
It doesn't say. I mean, I've probably walked past, but like walked beside those exact barrels, but I can't remember exactly what they were in there.
It sounds nice.
Yeah, I mean, it smells great, and it smells big. But flavor-wise, I said, because I did a quick review of that as well, and actually, I think it's got better the more it's warmed up. But in the review, I said like in the nicest way possible. I'm getting like Black Forest Gatto from that. It's dark chocolate, and there's a cherry edge, but I don't think in the way that Rob. I think Rob would even like this one.
Okay. See, this isn't excessively cherry. Fine.
No, but this for me, it's sort of it is that stewed, almost like jammy stewed cherry. It's and I'll get a real hint of like blackberry jam as well. There's like a bit of a sharpness. And it's damn good. I mean, it's complex, it's rich, and it's like it's not the fullest beer. I never think with barrel aged beers, it's never the thickest mouthfeel. But there is a slickness to it. There is a nice chew, but it's big, and it's because I've not had anything like this. I don't think from Burnt Mill before.
No, I guess it's not what they're known for, really.
No.
They've done some big-ish beers, but they've never done anything like that, really.
No, but it's damn good.
They do. There's a porter, coffee porter. I can't remember what it's called. They've done the last sort of 6 months. That was all right. Can't remember what it's called. They've done a black lager as well, which is real nice. But for what it was a real roasty, toasty type thing. So it's away from what they're generally known for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Craig, have you got the untapped deets on this one?
Yeah.
Nice one.
It doesn't give any. So 83 total check-ins, only 12 in the last 30 days, 75 ratings in, 4.05. Pretty good score. Although just not a lot of people have had it, I guess.
Yeah.
So is that the right beer? Is that the actual right one?
Yeah. Coconut vanilla coffee, yeah.
Coconut vanilla coffee. So on paper, I'm all over that. Bourbon, coconut, vanilla coffee.
Yeah, the coconut and vanilla draw me in.
And I think because they were added for packaging rather than a beer with those adjuncts in it, then put in barrel aging, I think you get a bit more of it. It's not like they've died off.
Cool. That's a good idea. That's the best way of doing it, if you ask me. Do it as you before kind of packaging, so you're not killing it off. It seems a waste of time if not.
Yeah.
It's all there. I'd like to get a bit more alcohol burn out of the bourbon.
I think you get that on the aroma. I think you get it stings the nostrils.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, is it room temperature? I guess that beer, or is it?
It is now. Yeah. When I reviewed it, it was a bit colder.
Right.
I'll say the same about mine as well. I think it has been better as it warms up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a bit of an issue with that situation. I just it seemed become a bit of a trope of kind of like beery wank pots like us, who kind of it tastes better as it warms up. And I thought it's like, does it really though? Beer tastes better when it's cold.
Hey, do some more aging. Okay.
No, fuck off, Andrew N.
Still gave it a 4 though.
Yeah.
I mean, it says this was packaged on the 21st of the 3rd, 2019.
You don't.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
the coffee.
Wow.
Are you getting much coffee? It's fairly fresh. Is it a lot of coffee, or is it
not?
Just some?
It was canned over a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think they've just started releasing them now.
Maybe they opened some and we're a bit like, whoa.
That's what I think too. I think they just weren't happy with it, so they didn't put it out.
Right.
But this is really nice. The coffee, I'd say the coffee is more of a. It just tastes like the natural coffee flavors you get from an imperial stout rather than any added coffee.
Right.
It's not like it's a dominant flavor. It's just in like a roastiness in the background.
Yeah, cold brew type. But
yeah, one thing.
you want to age it if it's got coffee in it.
Well, one thing Johnny and I watched. I don't know if they posted it on Wednesday, but Johnny and Brad did a video on Craft Beer Channel about kind of aging beers, which I disagreed with some of the stuff they were saying, but one thing he kind of mentioned about aging a beer with coffee in it, that it tastes a bit like soil. I'm like, maybe you might be on something there. And I was thinking, I've got a load of KBS knocking around, and but I think that sounds a bit. I mean, it's that earthiness what's kind of come out of it. Because I mean, I'm no coffee expert. I don't even drink coffee, but I love the flavour of coffee, and there's a myriad of flavours you can get from coffee like you can with beer. It can be quite berry forward, I think. Especially this is my experience in getting different kind of coffees in beer. I like a more of a fuller, roasty kind of like fella.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. With coffee, like I quite like coffee, and like we have like an espresso machine and all this, and I find I gravitate more towards the more caramel, sweeter roasts than I do to a more berry forward sort of a more grown up coffee. Sort of that's what I call it. Like it's exactly. That sort of like I prefer that sort of, because I don't add sugar or anything to my coffees, but I prefer a sweeter, nuttier caramel forward roast.
I completely, yeah, that's my kind of thing. That's what I want in a beer. It's kind of growing up, and I've never really drank coffee at all. But I like coffee flavored things, and it was going on kind of like Mediterranean holidays package deals in the 80s and stuff, and eating coffee ice cream and things like that, and coffee matchmakers, and having a dunk of a biscuit in my mum's coffee and stuff like that. So that's where my kind of things that are in my brain, where I think of what a coffee tastes like, and what I want from that within a beer. And I do love coffee flavored beers. It's one of my kind of favorite things. And I'm all up for kind of more fruity one. I'm all up for that as well. But if I'm going to be really happy with it, I want exactly what you said: a bit nuttier, a bit more kind of roasty, but fragrant at the same time. I mean, I think you can fragrant doesn't have to be kind of floral or kind of fruity. I think it can be, you can have something that's quite fragrant and I mean, like walking into fucking a coffee shop and just just fucking grinding it up. I mean, I have to do it once in a while at Triangle.
Yeah.
And it's a lovely smell. I love that smell.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't do me any good, unfortunately. we won't get into that.
No,
It's not
no.
that kind of broadcast.
Mm.
So, Craig, what's your second beer then, sir?
So it's the Brewing by Numbers 08 Stout, which is a lowly 6.6% ABV.
Sensible beers. You're on your sensible beer,
can, so
Craig. Doing it wrong.
Well, I mean, it's still early. So chocolate and Seville. Chocolate Seville orange come together in a smooth seasonal stout. Cacao and orange characters blend perfectly with the complex malt build to bring this modern stout to life. That's it. So, yeah, cacao nibs, lactose, oats, barley water, orange zest, yeast, and hops are in this. When was this canned? The 10th of December. So there you go.
Merry Christmas.
Pour in.
Chocolate orange beer. That's a Christmas beer, isn't it?
Well, I was trying
exactly.
Not to Craig for a
Happy
bit.
New Year.
All I can think of is Alan Partridge. That chocolate orange is now right now.
It's just superficial damage.
Yeah, superficial damage. I got you with that chocolate one.
So it's superficial, yeah. It's not much going on in the aroma. I mean, there is that hint of orange, but it's not, for me at least, or this can. It's not. I mean, it's room temperature. It's been at room temperature. It's not been in the fridge. This one since I got it, so I kept it in this slightly cooler room, but it's warmed up a little bit. I mean, it's there. It's kind of there. It's like orange matchmakers. That kind of. It's not Terry's chocolate orange, like in your face kind of aroma. It's more of a muted kind of. Yeah, matchmakers. I'd say it's more that realm.
Don't mind a matchmaker.
But yeah,
part of my childhood is a matchmaker.
No, they're all right.
My brother would have I'd have the coffee ones. My brother would have the orange ones.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Whatever's there, I love that. It's got chocolate.
I don't need mint ones.
But
I don't need mint ones. There's enough fucking minty chocolate shite around Christmas anyway.
Yeah, only after 8, I guess. But no, this is all right. But it's not. Sorry.
Don't apologise.
The orange is there. But
it is what it is.
The orange is there, but it's not. I want a bit more, kind of thing. I mean, the body of the beer, is what it is, 6.6. So you don't expect more on that kind of regard, I guess. But it's nice. But they do better darker beers.
Yeah,
certainly over the last sort of few days, what I've had.
What was the orange flavouring, Craig? I think I missed that. Is it actual orange, or is it like extract or zest or? Seville orange zest. Oh, okay. Because I always think the zest doesn't impart always that orange. Juicy flavour you'll come to expect necessarily, does it?
Yeah,
it's got a bit of bite to zest.
It's underlying the cacao nibs, I'd say. They're there. It's got a lovely kind of creamy mouthfeel. Body is medium, maybe just above middle part of the medium body, but it's a nice beer. It's a nice beer without kind of wow me. If that makes sense. It's above average, but yeah. But they produce some absolutely banging beer. In this, porter stout kind of category. So really good. I'd get it again. I mean, if it was on draft, I'd be quite curious just to see what it's about there. Maybe I'm looking forward to going to their new tap room. I've not been yet, so that would be one for the future. The old Bermondsey bit.
I've been to one of them. Yeah, me and Jake went.
I've been to.
There's two. They've got 2 tap rooms, haven't they?
I've been to the original. Yeah, I've been to the original. They've got a new premises. I've not been there yet.
They've got a tap room at the original site, aren't they? But then they've got another place as well.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we went to the tap room at the original place. It's all been kitted out. It's not like the brewery. Like first time I went, it was just like fucking trestle tables and the brewery behind you.
Oh, it's like
for like 14 people.
1 in, 1 out when I was there. It was so busy.
It's fucking bonkers. Yeah. It was day after
it was really kind of like compact. They had this little bar thing. It was about like 2 meters long. But yeah.
I always find myself
I need to go back there for sure. I've been to Bermondsey for a few years.
With just enough time to get back to me for my train.
Yeah.
So you've got actually quite a long way to go, but you're fucking legging it for like 45 minutes.
That's what it was like. That's what it was like for me.
Fucking train station, tube off the fucking. You're like.
That's exactly what it was like for me after I left you at Bermondsey. I was like, shit, I've got to go now. after I left at Brew,
the same thing about 45 minutes later.
Yeah. Because you just want to hang on a little bit more as well, didn't you? You want to sort of because it was like they had like ridiculous beers on as well, didn't they? Because it was after the whole Beavertown thing, so they were offering their Beavertown sort of exclusives and that whole debacle. Doesn't that seem really sort of silly now?
You could get your Colonel and you could get your Cloudwater and your Verdant beers there as well, couldn't you? And they had 50-50 Eclipse on draft as well.
I remember having Westbrook Gozer there because I'd never had it on tap before. I've only ever had it in a can, so I got a third of that. Yeah,
and I like their IPAs and double IPAs, even the triple IPAs. I mean, what I'm like with triple IPAs. I think it's completely unnecessary, but they do some of the better ones around. They're a funny brewery because they've kind of been around for a while. They're maybe a little bit overlooked. Maybe they're not quite as available as some. Maybe because they've been around for a bit, so they're not quite as trendy. They're not the most easiest to get in shops. They're not that. I don't see them up my way. Is branding to do something with that as well? There's a lot of factors with those guys. But and the top end price wise, they can be when we get them up at Triangle. As good as they are top end as far as price goes, which is bizarre because their neighbours Colonel are cheap as fuck, mate, and excellent. So, but I mean, one of the it's great that they're still doing that well because they've been around for a while. Of Pressure Drop now must be 10 years. Must be maybe not quite 10 years, 8 years, 7, 8 years.
2013, they first. Started.
Yeah. I remember it well. I said it took me from San Diego in there. He loved it. They were giving us fucking mugs full of wort with a splash of Lagavulin in it and stuff.
So, sorry, who you talking about? Brew by Numbers or
Brew by Numbers? Yeah. When Ryan was over.
Probably is 10 years. Yeah, I think 10 years. Yeah.
The early days of the beer mile.
Yeah, absolutely. Just so I've got a thing on the screen. So
what are the general public saying about this one?
The pros.
Well, it's obviously one of their kind of like they've obviously released it multiple times. Yeah. So it's 4,684 total. 69.
That's significantly more than everybody else, all the other beers tonight.
the last 30 days, then 3,984 ratings, 3.69.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to be honest.
I'd say that's pretty good for that many ratings.
It's a lot.
That's pretty good.
It's a lot.
You get a lot of casuals picking that beer up as well. Chocolate orange appeals to a really broad spectrum of people.
It does. But no, it's decent. It's a decent brew. So
I'd be curious what the most recent reviews have been like saying about it. Okay, David G.
That's 2 hours ago.
People have got to up the game on their usernames, just like a first name and a initial.
I wouldn't say it's fixed out, to be honest. It's for me, it's not anyway. If you used to Imperial Stouts, if you have one of them, then yeah. If you haven't had one, then you might think it's a bit thick. I might look for comments. There we go. A solid stout, if unspectacular. I taste the orange more when I burp after. So that's probably not a bad comment actually. It's solid, and that's it for me. It's got the stuff that says on the can kind of thing, but
little movement in the trouser department.
I'm just.
So like getting the orange. Well, maybe start there.
I just want more. Just greedy.
That's it. but it's that time of night, isn't it? Plaster orders. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
There you go.
Want some more beers all night long. Yeah, I think it's quite consistent with what you said actually. Sully's right. Barely got the orange. Could have used more zest.
Yeah, the orange is not quite for me.
Oh, do you want just more marmalade or what? I find chocolate orange a curious kind of like flavour. I always think of do you know the orange chocolate you get in roses?
With the cream, yeah.
Always tastes a bit like vomit. I always remember this, and as I'm drinking a beer that is collaboration with Atom, is my friend Jack used to work there. Yeah. He told me about the idea of butyric acid, which is essentially that kind of like that flavour you get at the back of your throat when you just about to vomit. Orange flavourings often taste a bit like that.
Yeah.
You got to be
like parmesan and everything like that has that sort of a
butyric acid. It's a terrible sounding thing, but
yeah. It's like butyric. It's already there. Butyric.
That.
Yeah.
Always come on. That was quite a good comment. I just thought.
I'm sorry.
That's why I stopped on it.
Oh, did you? Sorry. Great stout, but I'm missing the orange big time. Big time. Nice combination though. Well, stick around all around. God, if not satisfying, the orange is non-existent.
Obviously, it's non-existent. It's just lacking in it. So that's it.
Christopher P. In the place to be. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. That's it.
So what have we learned?
What have we learned? Obviously, there's multiple subjects that I hinted at earlier, but we should delve deeper into. But
nothing.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it's a nice few beers. I've really enjoyed. So I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've had 6 brewing by numbers in the last 3 days.
3 hours.
This was a very nice one as well. Blood orange.
The blood orange, yes, that's why Peter placed his order. I will look forward to Peter's review of that. Is it good?
Yeah, I reviewed it last night. Broaden and Build collab. Copenhagen. So that's good. But yeah, these two were the lager was. I didn't do a review, but it was decent. So, lager. But these two are very good. As I've already said. This one.
Yeah, they sound.
Sorry,
very
that
appealing.
that was bonkers good. That was the best one out of the 6 so far. Yeah, that was
I do like because Brew by Numbers always used to use the same label, same font, and everything. I do like that they've gone with the different fonts for the different different numbers and that sort of thing. I think it's a bit more striking than just the same thing with the different numbers.
A bit of shelf appeal.
Yeah, because they have the change in numbers and that sort of thing. They don't have quite the kernel effect where the kernel are the kernel, and they get away with it.
Changed as well, but things have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you competing with? You gotta be aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're up against Northern Monk's Patrons Project cans, what's going to stand out more?
Yeah,
your kind of like slightly bland looking can stroke bottle, or Ace looking wraparound fucking peel off beautiful piece of kind of photography. It's not an even playing field, really. I mean,
no,
but that's how people that's how people buy at the moment. I mean, and the influence of people and all that kind of business. It's
I mean that's what happens back in the day when you saw a can of Gamma Ray on the shelf or something like that. You're like, fucking hell, look at that. Next to all the other drudgery.
Well, still do. It's there, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
Just 2 comments. Just wanna whilst we're face disappeared. Is have to find a hat. Top notch craft beer. That's a good handle to have.
It's got the same picture as craft beer drinker.
Cool. Well, fair play.
Twins.
And then Wonder Beer Review, I presume that's Scott. I'm sure that Wonder's got better things to do at 5 to 11 on a Saturday night. So, all right, Scott, how are you doing? I've not watched your Ambesses because I picked them up today. I'm probably going to drink them tomorrow afternoon. So
I picked those up as well. I did a little Northern Monk order.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I've got a bit. I'm gonna
really grab people's attention. Those beers.
I'm gonna record a bit of a skit. It's the first sort of skit.
Oh, I love it.
I've got it lined up. I've got a bit of a sketch that's gonna.
Fantastic. Well, you may as well make use of your time.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. I was like picturing in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I could do that with it. Yeah, I'll do that. So that's going to be coming up.
Scott was on it big time.
Yeah. Northern Monk were pretty good because like it was supposed to come. I ordered it on the bank holiday weekend and it said it was supposed to come before this weekend, and then it didn't come. But like they're pretty good at keeping you updated. It's going to come on Monday and stuff because I think they're suffering with the amount they've got to send out and deliveries and all that sort of thing.
This beer has been very, 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 very popular. Triangle, we got a case of each in, so 24 of each, but there's people wanting to buy like 4 of each and stuff. It's just it's just capture people's imagination. So Scott's replied. I said, I presume it's Scott. It is. Look forward to both your Ambassador reviews. Yes, and after I've drunk it, Scott, I will watch yours as well. I'll comment in a judgmental fashion. I've heard a couple of comments. I'm not expecting anything kind of like earth shattering. It's
a gimmick at the end of the day. You're partnering with Aunt Bessie's. It's a gimmick.
I've heard that people kind of commenting that, I get a bit of the brown ale. Oh yeah, I get a bit of gravy at the back end.
Yeah. I saw some comments like they were selling out. And it's like,
Monk.
Yeah. How is partner of Aunt Bessie's selling out? It's a weird sort of.
How is having a commercial business selling out? Yeah. I think you've already.
That was a strange
intention to make money. I think it probably is.
Yeah.
Hang on. So you've got probably 50 members of staff. You've got 2 breweries. You've got 2 tap rooms that can't open at the moment. You've got to pay people's wages. You've got to ensure that they've got a job after this fucking madness ends. team up with Ambesses and sell shitloads in about 3 days.
And also, I brought both those Aunt Bessie beers, and it was £6.
Yeah, I did see
I
them.
paid more than that.
Obviously, I'd paid delivery as well, and I got a few other Northern Monk stuff. But the actual that set was £6. The 2 beers was £6.
I did look at getting them, and then I was like, "Oh, nah."
No, I want to
I'd rather
put a couple aside, and I'm like, yeah, it's like £3.25. So
I'd rather have a roast dinner.
Oh, I would as well.
So would I, yeah.
Right.
I'm not a huge roast dinner fan, but because I'm in lockdown.
Out of this fucking chat now. Who's this character?
No, but because I'm in lockdown, I want
move from stream
mute. I'm just sort of not bothered about. But again, a bit like New England IPA, I've had so many bad roasts that I just can't be bothered with it.
I don't know if I've had that many bad ones.
Well, yeah, probably more like
in a position where I want a roast. And just before the fucking this situation, I got into this position where I was sourcing a good roast every at least one a month, and it was a wonderful situation. Anyway, so Scott just comment a few more. He says, "I ain't going to give anything away. One's better than the other." Yeah, I can imagine.
I can guess which one.
I like brown ale. It says bin jerk. Anyone who doesn't like a roast dinner ain't right.
Yeah.
Right.
If that's not right, I do want to be wrong.
If he wasn't such a good friend, I would be doing that now.
Yeah.
Blocking him, ghosting him on all social media.
It's just they're a bit sort of like
boiled
veg.
You stayed away before you dig your fucking hole in the deeper in your anti roast dinner retail. It's not going to pan out.
Give me a smash burger or a nice sort of sourdough pizza or anything or nice curry.
Jelly deals.
Yeah. But come on now.
No, I like.
You clearly had a bad experience. Don't take it out on everybody else.
I like Northern puddings. I think they're all right.
Well, a nicer lasagna. That'd be better than a roast. Spaghetti bolognese. But
yeah, I made one earlier. So there you go.
Yes.
Bolognese.
I like all these things. I always say about roast.
It's quite nice.
Oh yeah.
Then load of cheese on top. Works.
What? Yorkshire pudding with cheese on top?
Yorkshire pudding with bolognese in and then some cheese on top.
Bolognese doesn't exist as a thing anyway.
Well, the meat.
The ragu.
Meat, sludgy sauce.
Yeah, well, sludgy sauce. The Italians don't think so.
Ever had like a leftover Yorkshire pudding with some jam in it?
I've not, but I've had Yorkshire pudding as a dessert in a Turkey carvery with golden syrup on it, and that was very nice.
Well, essentially, I mean, the batters are pretty similar. Pancake batter.
Yes, sweet and savoury.
It was nice. It was nice. Bit of ice cream and a bit of it felt wrong. It wasn't bad.
Well, you see, I call in my neck of the woods a Yorkshire pudding is we call them batter puddings.
No, get the fuck out of here.
We call them batter puddings.
Don't be bringing that bullshit up.
We don't call them Yorkshire puddings.
Yeah,
no, we don't. We call them batter puddings.
This is like a aggressive partisan opinion.
It's
coming out
it's
here.
yokel.
It's going to build a wall.
I think me and Rob are going to start a podcast called Food Debates.
Called you fucking wrong.
You could call it food debates.
Yeah, food.
That's like, it's like people in Cornwall about Cornish pasties. I'm not going to not call it Cornish pasty.
Well, we don't do it out of spite. That's just what they're called here.
It's a Cornish pasty. And if you want to go to Cornwall and they just call it a pasty, that's their business. But
Yeah,
outside that situation,
some of the bakeries down are
fucking something slightly different. Meat and veg pasty. It's Scottish pasty. It's a precedent. You don't change the rules. It's Yorkshire pudding. Wherever you are.
No, it's not where not where I live.
Wherever you are.
It's a Yorkshire pudding, but it's not a Cornish pasty. Yeah, I get it.
Could be in China. Could be in Botswana. In Brazil.
Botswana.
In Ipswich. It's a Yorkshire pudding. Get used to it.
They're all right.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Where's this going to go? Anyway, on that bombshell. Big thanks to everybody who's tuning in tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your comments. This has worked out, I think. As far as Isolation Station.
Isolation Inspiration Station.
I think it's worked out very nicely. You never know. I might go to bed. Might stay up and still drink until about 4 a.m. Who knows? You never know. You might see our face in someone else's.
I wouldn't do that.
He's like, I wouldn't do that. He usually does that. He does that most nights. But yes, big thanks to everybody who's tuned in. And obviously big thanks to Craig and Jake. Even though Jake's just fucked it.
I thought I'd get in there because I knew how much it would annoy you.
Until we're off camera.
Yeah.
Me look bad. Yes, until next time. Hopefully it won't be 4 months until you've got to wait until the next one.
Yeah, it won't be Christmas.
What else do, won't we? So, apart from argue about Yorkshire puddings, because we know who's right.
Oh, yes.
Boom.
Oh, I know you're right. I'm just saying it in my neck of the woods.
No. You understand? Right, I've got the button for the end broadcast. How about your neck of the woods? This is how it is.
There you are.
Pudding. Deal with it.
Pudding.
There you go. See ya.
That puddings.